It's my job to be repetitive. My job. My job. Repetitiveness is my job.
And then you're going to go there and give the best performance, the best performance of my life, the best performance of my life. Okay. Look, repetition serves a purpose. Judge Juan Marchand last week found Trump guilty of 9 of the 10 charges of contempt that were brought before him by the state, by the people. And I'm gonna go out on a limb also and say that the state is not representing the people in any aspect of this persecution. They are representing their own corrupt asses. Last week, the state brought 10 charges of contempt for Trump posting various links in 4 cases to a New York Post article talking about what a corrupt liar, perjurer, Michael Cohen was. For another post, truth post, in which Trump refers to Michael Cohen, convicted perjurer, according to Arthur Engeron, and notorious porn star, liar, Stormy Daniels as sleazebags in retweeting a Michael Avenatti tweet. There were 2 other posts on social media. The judge found Trump in contempt of 9 of the 10 charges, fined him $1,000 per charge, and said, if you keep this up, it's going to pain me to do it, but I might have to put you in jail. You know, like the abusive spouse saying, look what you made me do. Why'd you make me hit you? This is what the judge said. If you make me do it again, I'll put you in jail. If you talk again. Well, the judge had another one that he adjudicated upon today. And I'm going to read to you what the charge was because you will just not believe it. I just wish. Oh, here it is right here. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom. Listen to this. This is the charge. Now, look like this. He had 4 charges today. The judge only found him in contempt of 1 because, let's read this here. As more fully explained in the Assistant District Attorney Conroy's affirmation of April 25, 2024, the people, the corrupt administration, alleged defendant violated the expanded order on 4 separate occasions as follows. By virtue of statement defendant made to the media in the hallway, yada, 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 after court adjourned for the day, among other things, defendant stated, quote, and when are they going to look at all the lies that Cohen did in the last trial? He got caught lying in the last trial. So he got caught lying, pure lying. And when are they going to look into that? They actually, give Judge Marchand, that corrupt judge whose daughter is making millions of dollars off this prosecution, credit here. He didn't find him guilty on this one because he said, he's responding to some attacks from Michael Cohen. I don't know if he actually said also, because it's true. Arthur Engeron, in his ruling, referred to convicted perjurer Michael Cohen as a convicted perjurer. So I guess, truth is not even a defense when it comes to contempt. The second one, by virtue of an interview defendant gave on April 22nd to the Real America Voice, yada, yada, yada. Listen to this. He said, quote, I'm right here, people. Oh, that's not working. Quote, the judge is rushing the trial like crazy. Nobody's ever seen a thing like this. The jury was picked so fast. 95% Democrats. The area is mostly all Democrat. You think of it as just a purely Democrat area. It's very unfair, the situation. That I can tell you. The judge found him in contempt for this statement. And listen to what the judge says about that statement. Won't someone please think of the children or the jury? Won't someone please think of the jurors? In doing so, the defendant not only called into question the integrity and therefore the legitimacy of these proceedings, he's a freaking defendant to a bullshit political persecution. He's not allowed calling into question the legitimacy of the proceedings. What is he supposed to do? Admit that they're valid? I mean, understand what the judge is saying right here. You can't question the legitimacy of these bullshit proceedings. So what you must basically do is concede, acquiesce, convict yourself. I'm going to start again. Sorry. In doing so, and I'll calm down. Defendant, my children, they might think I'm having an aneurysm. In doing so, defendant not only called into question the integrity and therefore the legitimacy of these proceedings, but again raised the specter of fear for the safety of the jurors and their loved ones. What crack hallucination dream are you living in, Judge Juan Marchand? Such concerns undoubtedly threaten to, quote, interfere with the fair administration of justice and constitute a direct attack on the rule of law, capital R, capital L. Expanded gag order. It remains this court's fundamental responsibility to protect the decency of the criminal process and to control the disruptive influences in the courtroom. Let me just read to you again what he said because it's such a load of horse crap. The judge is rushing the trial like crazy. Nobody's ever seen a thing go like this. The jury was picked so fast. 95% Democrats. The area is mostly all Democrat. You think of it as just a purely Democrat area. It's very unfair situation. That I can tell you. All of that is 100% true. The judge himself prided himself on how fast he was jury selected. He said, "Oh, it went by faster than I thought. We can start the trial early. Oh, it went faster than I thought. We can cut early today." Purely Democrat area. Do we need to like prove this? It's like, DC is a pretty Democrat area. Yeah. So is this particular district of New York. Guilty. But then let's get to the, hold on one second. Let me just refresh. I need another conclusion that I didn't highlight in this. And I'm not sure that it's here. Now, the dog is whining, by the way, because we ran out of dog food today. And the missus has gone to get some dog food. What did I just do here? Holy crab apples. I didn't shut it down. Okay, hold on. Listen to what the judge says. He reminds me again in the conclusion. I've got the order right here. Bada bing, bada boom. Look at this. Let's go all the way down here. Just, finds him guilty, sentences him to $1,000. Here, look at this. Therefore, defendant is hereby put on notice that if appropriate and warranted, future violations of its lawful orders will be punishable by incarceration. Put him in jail. Put him in jail, Marchand. Do it. I mean, it's not me that you're threatening, but do it. See what that yields by way of political blowback. See what that yields potentially by at what point in freaking time is the Supreme Court going to get involved in this? At what point? I mean, do they want people to be provoked into stupidity because of the acts of provocation by this out-of-control judge? If warranted, we'll lock him up. We'll lock him up for saying it's a Democrat area. He rushed the jury, and this is a joke. Lock him up. Oh no, but they're not Putin. They're not locking up Navalny for no reason. They're locking up their political rivals for damn good reason. He's calling out their corrupt bullshit in real time. Okay, here we go. Before we get into the now people are gonna cut this out. Pasha Moyer, P. Moyer says, Viva, goodbye in Russian is do svidanya. Do svidanya. I like that. Do svidanya. Hold on a second. Hold on. Do svidanya. Now, Viva is a Russian asset. By the way, my grandmother, you see, we always said she was Russian or Ukrainian. I forget which side her family came from, but it was, I want to say, I don't know. They left, her side of the family left during the 1890s, the pogroms of the 1890s. Do svidanya. And how do you say cheers? Is prosht. Although I don't like vodka, I prefer gin. And I don't even like Eastern European gin. I like Irish gin. Or Scottish gin, I should say. Terrible. All right, what was I going to do here? Oh, yeah, I was going to go to the second Rumble rant and see what was going on here. The second Rumble rant. I'm not your buddy, guy says, could not be more clear.
If you have sciatic nerve pain, do not drink cold water.
But I drink cold water.
You know what the #1 vitamin at Walmart is for sciatic nerve pain?
I have no idea.
You won't believe how old she is.
Excuse me? I ask people who are really fit, what do they do for their workouts? Do you mind if I ask you what you do?
Actually, not a lot.
I was going to go to the second. Okay. I'm sorry, that ad pulled me in for a brief second. I'm not your buddy, guy says, could not be more clear. The left have crossed the Rubicon and are going all in. Everyone must understand the consequences should these people win. They've, look, my joke is, so the crossing of the Rubicon is when Julius Caesar crossed the Rubicon to go somewhere in ancient Rome that he wasn't supposed to go to. And it was like a religious violation to have crossed the Rubicon. The Democrats have crossed so many Rubicons. It's not just that they've crossed them. My spin on it is they've crossed the Rubicons and they've taken steaming aqua dumps each time. Like this, they've entered the holy waters and they've taken a dump in it. Because it's like, can you imagine, just as I said, like the Rubicons that we've lived through in real time, indicting a former president, convicting a former president. Well, no, we got to go back. We got to go back all the way to the beginning. Impeaching a president for bullcrap reasons. Impeaching a president a second time for bullcrap reasons. Criminal prosecution of a former president. NARA prosecution of a former president. RICO prosecution of a former president. Removal of a candidate from the ballot. And now criminal prosecutions, locking up of a former president, passing legislation to deny Secret Service the Disgrace Act of a convicted former federal officer. They've crossed Rubicon after Rubicon, and they squat down in the water and they take a steaming aqua dump in it. Yeah, no, it's wild. I remember when Barnes, during our Sunday streams, like they're not politically suicidal enough to try to remove Trump from the ballot. Gina, whatever the hell her name is, Griswold? Jenna Griswold. Is that her name? Jenna Griswold said, hold my beer. And then the other one, the Secretary of State out of Maine, said, hold her beer, hold my beer. And you got the one out of, I forget where else you're trying to do. So it's just wild. And it's depraved. And all the while they do that, they accuse their political adversaries of undermining democracy. So that's the ruling. And now let's go to a little bit of inner city press. So hold on, let me just make sure. I'm going to go to vivabarneslaw.locals.com, where we've got two tips. Let me see here. We got Devil Dog Mom. Hold on, how do I do this? Devil Dog Mom says, Aloha Viva. I have a question. Hopefully you can help. I thought the Supreme Court found that, quote, forgiving student debt was unconstitutional. Can you clarify? Also have been a paying supporter here on Locals for almost 3 freaking years. Mahalo. And remember, it is pronounced Lahaina. Much love. Devil Dog Mom, thank you very much. I have a special kinship to Hawaii. I went there for my honeymoon with my wife, and it's like the most beautiful place on earth. Minus the freaking treacherous flight out there. Like we had to go, I think we had 2 layovers on our way to LA, and then we had to fly from LA to Hawaii. Most beautiful place on earth. By the time I got there, I had the worst sinus infection of my life. So it took me 7 days of the 10 days of our honeymoon to get over the sinus infection. Funny story. We went snorkeling for, sea turtles and everything. We got the snorkels, and my wife had her little tushy bubbling out of the water while we were snorkeling. She got a sunburn. Am I going to get in trouble for this? It was so bad, it blistered on her butt. I've never seen a sunburn that bad in my life. Now, to answer your question, without the TMI that nobody asked for, the Supreme Court did find that forgiving the student debt under the legislation or the mechanism that he did it initially was unconstitutional. And so he's trying a different mechanism, Biden, to forgive a portion of it under a different law. I don't know the details right now. Right? I know that I can't phrase them right now. I'd have to pull up the specific details, but it was declared unconstitutional. They're not having a second kick at the can in the exact same manner. Biden is trying to find another legislative loophole to do it for a portion of the debts. I think it's like $10,000. And that's how they're bypassing what would otherwise have been a relatively clear Supreme Court ruling. Oh, someone came home with dog food. So that's that. And it's the same thing they're doing in Bruin. Like Bruin came down out of New York and was very clear about Second Amendment rights. And they say, Second Amendment, be damned. Don't be bringing that into our courtroom, said Judge Darkey. Darkey or Darkey? It's Darkey. In the Dexter Taylor case, 55-year-old, doesn't matter that he's black. He's a 55-year-old black man out of New York who, in my interview with him, said, these laws are intended to basically tell, I won't use his exact terminology because I might get canceled for it, but he said the legislation out of New York, the prohibitions were intended to tell uppity black men that you are under the state's protection and you are not allowed to take care of yourself or protect yourself. And from what I understand, the prosecution saw our interview, didn't like it. He would have been convicted anyhow. He's now been convicted off to Rikers Island, and they're going to appeal that decision and then maybe raise the Second Amendment arguments of law before the Court of Appeal. But they don't care. The Democrats will accuse Trump of, desecrating the judicial authority, refusing to abide by Supreme Court rulings, overriding the Constitution. They accuse him of doing it when they are the ones doing it in real time. Concrete examples: student loan forgiveness, Bruin Second Amendment, in real time. And they're trying to do it all. Well, they're not trying to do it with Roe versus Wade, because Roe versus Wade didn't render any prohibition on abortion above and beyond saying it goes to the states. Let your states legislate whatever wacky abortion laws they want to legislate. Okay, that was a long-winded answer. Thank you very much for the tip. Bill Brown says they can't balance the budget, but they all become millionaires. And Bill, you sent me a good one earlier today. Hold on. Let's see this here. My wife says, am I live? I am live. Am I in trouble? Bill Brown sent me a good meme earlier today. I don't always get to respond to everything people send me, but this one's funny. It says, I have a bumper sticker. Let me make sure I'm looking at this here. It says, I have a bumper sticker. It says, honk if you think I'm sexy, then I wait at green lights until I feel better about myself. All right, so we've done that. We've done everything now. And then we got P. Moyer says, since you mentioned Ukraine, goodbye is in the language is do pobochinha. Do pobochinha. All right. Let's get to as much of the real-time tweeting. So bottom line, by the way, I'm not going to go through the entire Matthew Russell Lee tweet thread of the day documenting the trial. The bottom line of yet another day of this trial, we're up to what now, day 12? I don't know how many witnesses we've gotten now of the prosecution, but Hope Hicks didn't turn out the way they wanted. What do you want? Hold on. Look at this. Look at this. This is what I have to live with here. This is what. Yeah, there you go. This is her right here. There. Oh, I forget it. Hold on a second. Oh, get out. Oi. The process. I mean, depending on who you listen to, you would either think that this prosecution is going smashingly well for the prosecution if you listen to the liars at MSNBC, or if you listen to people with half a brain and who are mildly honest. And I like to think that I am entirely honest but have half a brain. You would know that this entire prosecution is a load of crap. They haven't been proving jack squat in this case. But Michael Cohen has been getting destroyed and he hasn't even testified yet. Stormy Daniels, I mean, the judge is going to have to modify the gag order because, okay, never mind. Sorry, it's going to stop there. I'm not going to go good places. So today, the witness on the stand, let me just bring up Inner City Press. I don't know how he does it, but he deserves a Pulitzer Prize for this. After they adjudicate on the contempt from today, they bring on, here we go. Hold on. Okay, they bring on, what's the problem here? Mr. McConney. Please describe your education. Okay, so McConney, Baruch College. Okay, so Mr. McConney, please describe your education. McConney went to Baruch College? Okay, McConney sounds like an Irish last name. Baruch College does not sound like an Irish university. He hired by the Trump Organization in 1987, now retired. Okay, he signed a separation agreement. Fine. You're here under subpoena. I'm going to go through this very quickly. So I don't know if that means he's not cooperative with the prosecution, would rather not be there. Have you spoken with him, being Trump, since last Friday? No. How are Trump Organization entities owned? Okay, they talk about that. Yada, yada, yada. Did you supervise Deb Tarasoff? Like this, I'm not sure who that person is. Did Trump Tower accounting team cover all entities? All except golf course and hotels. Who enters information into the general ledger? Just to illustrate what's going on in this case, we've talked about it many times. They've turned a 34-count bullshit misdemeanor bookkeeping charge into a 34-count felony because they argue that every time a $35,000 retainer was paid to Michael Cohen, that's one felony, election interference, hiding the true intent of the payment. Every time they wrote in the ledger, legal fees, also another felony. Sign the check, felony. File your tax, felony. Anything related to each monthly payment, felony. So the question is, who enters the information into the general ledger? Because each one of those entries is a felony. The accounting staff. Does the team also cover Mr. Trump's personal accounts? Yes. 2017, they used Capital One as his main account. Yes. Okay, well, let's skip down here. Did the Trump Organization ever cut a check if no invoice was submitted? Never. Who has the authority to approve invoices? They give all the people there. Ivanka, Don Jr. Then when it comes to payments, under 10,000, one signature required. Over 10,000, two signatures required. Okay. Did you review the files on the thumb drive earlier today? Yes. Have you ever emailed with Michael Cohen? Yes. We asked to admit these exhibits. There's objections to several of them. All right. Are you familiar with Michael Cohen? Yes. We both worked there. I spoke with him by the coffee machine. What was his position? He was a lawyer. Did he get reimbursed sometime in January 2017? This guy, who I guess they thought was going to prove that Trump was deliberately concealing the payments to Cohen to disguise the election interference, hush money payments to interfere with the election. They thought he was going to confirm all this. He confirmed none of it. This guy confirmed that Trump didn't instruct anything. Okay, let's go down here. Did you keep the files? Whatever. What is this bank statement? It's the Essential Consultants First Bank. Okay, here we go. $130,000 to Keith M. Davidson Associates, PLC. $130,000. That's Weisselberg's handwriting, grossed out, then divided by 12. Okay. Prosecutor, why $180,000? McConney, the $130,000 to Michael Cohen, $50,000 to Red Finch. What's the grossing up to cover the taxes? So they're saying they were they were paying an amount to Michael Cohen so that he would have net basically after taxes. So they're paying him more because they know a portion of that's going to have to go to taxes. Why? Because it was always supposed to be a retainer. Or to everyone's understanding, it was a retainer paying Michael Cohen for fixing the problems that he made in the first place, fixing that which he broke. $35,000 a month. Yes, we'd wire each month starting February 1st, 2017, when Trump is already president. Immunity might resolve this. We'll see. Did you take notes? People's 36. I don't know what that is. Okay, fine. Those are my notes. Bonus $50,000, $180,000, grossing it up to $180. So it's $420,000 wire from Donald John Trump. With the grossing up, was this an expensive reimbursement like others? No. Let me show you the exhibit. Okay, objection. I love this. I asked for an invoice. A lot of people ask for money. We need an invoice. Michael wrote, remind me of the monthly amount. I replied, $35,000. He wrote, pursuant to the retainer agreement. You can see here that this guy's testimony is that which Trump has been saying from the beginning. This was a retainer to Michael Cohen for legal services. There was no conspiracy to begin with. Even if there was a conspiracy that this was a hush money payment to Stormy Daniels, it's also not illegal. But this guy's coming and saying, yeah, this guy, look at this, pursuant to the retainer agreement, pay me $35,000 a month. I do work for you. I do good work, Mr. Trump. Yeah, it's like Michael Cohen strikes me as being that jackass guy from Happy Gilmore. Hey, I did good, eh, Shooter? Yeah, I found a liar and I paid her off to be quiet and I charged a lot of money to do it. Isn't that amazing? You posted this to legal expenses? Yes, I did. Code 51505. Did the Trump Organization outside accounts have access to this? Not directly, but through the reports. Did Mr. Cohen invoice each month? Yes. And we paid it each month. What do you think in this time? What did you do in this time frame for checks? All right, I'm going to go over here. Objection. Well, okay, is that it? What happened? See, this is where I get lost following this crap. Not inner city press being crap, but it's not possible to do this in a way that's it's not possible to do this in a way that makes sense or that people can follow. So Govea does an amazing job bringing this to life. I'll put together a short summary vlog, walkie-talkie, or just city talkie. Was it consistent with the $180,000 you discussed with Weisberg? Yes, no further questions. Cross-examination. Emil Bove, you rarely spoke to President Trump, did you? I did not. He never asked you to make these entries. He did not. And Mr. Weisberg didn't tell you President Trump told him to do it. No. I mean, does he end it right there? Here's Michael Cohen's signature book. Does it say fixer? It does not. Cohen was basically a vendor to President Trump, right? Yes. He said he had an outside firm. Yes. Bove, you don't know if Michael Cohen did legal work for Mr. Trump with regard to the summer Zervos. I don't know what that is. Things were in flux, yada, yada. Bove, okay, let's just go down here. Let's talk about the handwritten notes. ×2 for taxes. Alan was rattling off things that I had to write down. Okay, I think we can probably stop it here. We've gotten to the bottom line of all of this. Trump's lawyer, Blanche, half hour ago, we learned who the next witness was. Okay, fine. So that's what McConnell had to show. Absolutely nothing. Like the guy from UHF, nothing. Absolutely nothing. You're so stupid. You think McConnell comes out and says, this freaking guy, we all knew Michael Cohen was the lawyer. We paid him his monthly retainer. There was no instruction to do anything nefarious or even anything specific. Bada bing, bada boom. Nice prosecution witness, you morons. Does it matter? Probably not. Just get my phone here. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That's what came out of the day.